Morning everybody, welcome to your 7 o'clock meditation. I hope you're all feeling rested this morning. Welcome to this beautiful new day. And I'm here to bring you into the day gently and in a loving sacred space that we're all going to share this morning. If you're watching, let me know who you are. Let me know who you are and where you are tuning in from. I'm going to share a few things with you this morning. I'm aiming to stick to the 30 minutes this morning. I'm going to share my beautiful crystal with you all. This is really lovely. It has such gorgeous energy. It's a real protector and energy healer for me, and recently I've been experiencing some problems with my digestive system, so I've been keeping this crystal close to me at night, and sometimes I put it under my pillow, which might seem a bit odd because it's a very big crystal, but I have very thick pillows, and it's very beautiful. We can all use our crystals in so many different ways, and you can put them around your home and bring them close to you when you need some healing or want to rebalance. They help you to nurture yourself, and they are of course living beings. They are in a very different form to us, but they are energy in form, and we can tune into them and they will open up their energy space to us. So it's a little bit about crystals, and we can use them in Reiki and all types of healing. I've used them in my reflexology sessions and put them with the feet in the water. Others, and you can lie down and put small crystals on your chakras. So many things that you can do. I might share some more of that at some point, but this energy is for you all this morning. So welcome and good morning and many blessings. Hi Howard from London, namaste. Hi Tom from Shrewsbury, on Mani Padme Om, yes indeed. Hi Belinda from Texas, wow. How is it in Texas? What time is it in Texas? It's 7 AM here in the UK, as you probably already know. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Morning, Kala Kala. Are you off to a party this morning? So that's my beautiful crystal, and let's take some deep breaths and bring ourselves into this beautiful space that's always available to us when we stop. Morning Susanna, so much love to you, so much love. I've been thinking about you this morning. Morning Sashi. So today is the 3rd year anniversary since my dad left his body, which is a very poignant day for me actually. Of course there is no time, and so it's all happening here now, and I'm feeling some of it again. I was in a hotel room in Freiburg the morning that he left his body, which was at 5:30 on the 20th of October 2013, and I've always had many different types of experiences, and I've been aware that of course life is eternal, and I've often worked with people when their relatives who have passed on have come through, and this has not been something that I've chosen to do as part of my work, but it has happened many times previously. And on this particular day, I had a message to say that my dad had passed, and I felt him come straight to me in the hotel in Freiburg from the tumour clinic, which was also in Freiburg. I felt his energy. It was probably about half an hour or so after he'd left his body, completely left his body, because he was leaving his... It takes a few days to leave your body, actually. It is a process. It doesn't just happen, you know, really fast. And the energy leaves the body, yeah, in a process, and it happens over a number of hours. And I'd been with him the night before, and he was, you know, and he was leaving his body then as well. So, and he actually played a lovely little game with me, which was when everybody had left me to be with him, which was about 9 o'clock on the evening before, so on the 19th of October. Everybody left the room so that I could have some time to be with him on my own, and he was on his bed in the clinic, and he couldn't speak. He had his eyes closed, and he was on medication, a machine for the pain that he was in. And after everybody walked out of the room and the door closed, a few minutes later there was a gust of wind come through the window, and we were 3 stories up. The curtain blew across the table and nearly set the room on fire, because there were candles lit on the table. And this was really unusual because it wasn't a windy day. It was actually a clear day. It had been a very sunny day, a very beautiful day. And so I knew that it was my dad, and I knew that this was the process then of him leaving his body. And he was letting me know that he was here, which I already knew, and he was now becoming more spirit than body. What we do in our lives is we become more spirit in body. We embody what we already are, and as we move and transition into the eternal, we become more spirit and less body. So we drop the body and we become what we already are in our pure state. So it was actually quite funny at the time, and I knew it was my dad, and I spoke to him, and I knew that he was listening, but not from the body. He was listening from from his greatest intelligence, from his eternal, expansive self, and this was really beautiful, and it started a very interesting way of me and my dad still communicating without the body. So going back to the next morning when he did leave his body, and he came to me in the hotel, and I could feel his essence, I recognised his presence. It was so beautiful, and I cried because it was just so magical that he could do that, and because I'd already experienced that in different ways with other people's relatives passing on and trying to connect with me, I was open to it. I'd tuned those abilities, if you like, and so it was easy for me to know when he was with me. And since then I felt him around me quite often. His energy is very, very powerful, as you would imagine, because he's not in his body anymore. So he's pure potential. Bless him. And he created so much while he was here, and you know, we all have the abilities. We think that we can't make a difference, but every single one of us is unique and has gifts to bring, and is making a difference by simply being ourselves and giving of ourselves. His love was his work, and his work was his love. And I now understand that his work was his meditation, and love is meditation. Love is being present with whatever is happening, whatever you are giving, whoever you are with, in any moment. Giving presence is giving love. And so from this, he taught me so many lessons. I felt a little bit helpless when he was in the tumour clinic and his health was starting to deteriorate. I thought, what can I do? So I gave him Reiki, and I meditated with him, and I quickly realised that all I needed to do was be love for him, be a loving present space for him in his time of need. That was the most important thing for me to give. The most healing thing that I could give, the most helpful thing that I could give and be, as it is for all of us, so never forget that. And we had some beautiful meditations in that space. I saw him perfect, happy, 100% healthy. I saw him completely healed. Which of course in his essence he was. It was just the body that was deteriorating. And he also showed me that love is endless, it's eternal. As he spent some time with our mum, and after 30 years of hardly spending any time together and being divorced and not living together or anything, it was very clear that the love that they felt for each other, although now it was unconditional love, it was probably always unconditional love, but it was really obvious, it was very, very obvious that it was now unconditional love that surpassed everything and would live on. No matter what the circumstances, what the relationship situation, where we are living, everything, of course there is no time and no space, and so these things make no difference apart from in this 3D reality. And so he taught me that love was eternal and would always be there no matter what. He taught me that all you can be is yourself, to give and offer healing to others. That's all you need to be, a space to listen, a space of presence, a space of love. He taught me independence, and he taught me that I could make a difference, because he'd spent his whole life helping others. And I never realised that. There was a day in Corfu when I realised that he had helped so many people in so many different ways. He had given his love, his attention, his advice, his listening, his expertise unconditionally to so many people and made a difference to them. And he was no longer just my dad, my father, he became this being of love that I now understood his real, true reason for being was to create all this and help all these people. And finally I got it. It wasn't my demands on him as a father that were important. It was what he was here to do, because he actually had a limited amount of time, as we all do have a limited amount of time in this body. So what are you going to do that's going to make a difference? What are you going to give of yourself to this world that is going to raise the vibration? How are you going to make an impact? And it doesn't have to be standing on a stage. It can be quietly creating something that's opening the hearts and minds of those around you. Find a way to give something of yourself that's going to create this more beautiful world that we all want to see for our children and our children's children and so on. So he taught me many things in life, and he taught me many things in deathless death, and it wasn't always easy. As a young child I had some real challenges with him because he wasn't very open-hearted. He was quite angry, but this was his journey, and he met Osho in the 1980s by going to the ranch in Rajneeshpuram in America, and being in the community there, in Osho's community, opened his heart, and I have no doubt that that was a catalyst for the journey he was now going to take, which was the journey home to himself, which is not really a journey at all. It's a realization that we are already that freedom. And Osho helped him to discover his truth, his heart, his freedom. And when we came back from Rajneeshpuram, from the ranch, he left. And the message that Osho gave him was that all ties with the past would be broken. And that is, of course, exactly what happened. He left everything he knew. He left the business he'd created. He left his family. He left his home. He left everything. And actually that was one of the bravest things that anybody could do, was leave everything in order to start something new, in order to find ourselves. His devotion to truth, to meditation, to himself was so strong, so powerful. He was able to let go of everything in order to follow his heart. And that led him to some incredible people, amazing experiences. He travelled most of the world. He became the manager for a few years of David, Pramal and Miten, which I'm sure most of you have heard of. He was a strong arm for them. He helped them, bolstered them, and helped to grow them and nurture them, as he did with everybody that he came into contact with. So today I celebrate his life, his footprints, his beautiful footprints that he's left all over this planet, many different ways. The articles in the newspapers, the videos on YouTube, the love that he left in people's hearts, the mantras and music, the mind, body, spirit festivals that he used to take me to. The music, his dedication to truth, celebrating all of that today. And I'm so grateful. I'm feeling a bit choked now, which you can probably hear. I'm so grateful to him. Although it was very difficult at times, very challenging for me as a child, he taught me so much, and I see that now I am connected to so many people that he knew, and that has all been through him. And in a strange way, I now continue his work, which I never imagined I would be doing that. But I am. So I learned a lot more from him than I realised, and he taught me more than I realised. And it's a process. So please join me all now in thanking him for his contribution. For the beautiful embodiment that he was. And for the guidance that he continues to give us all those who are connected with him. He's still very much here. So, now I'm going to read a little bit more of this beautiful book, I Am That. It's interesting, I've opened it on the page that I was reading yesterday. So maybe I need to just continue. In self-awareness, you learn about yourself. Questioner. It is our repeated experience that the disciples do much harm. It is our repeated experience that the disciples do much harm to their gurus. They make plans and carry them out without considering the guru's wishes. In the end, there is only endless worry for the guru and bitterness for his disciples. Maharaja. Yes, it does happen. Question. Who compels the guru to submit to these indignities? Maharaji. The guru is basically without desire. He sees what happens but feels no urge to interfere. He makes no choice, takes no decisions. As pure witness, he watches what is going on and remains unaffected. But his work suffers, Maharaji. Victory is always his in the end. He knows that if the disciples do not learn from his words, they will learn from their own mistakes. Inwardly, he remains quiet and silent. He has no sense of being a separate person. The entire universe is his own, including his disciples with their petty plans. Nothing in particular affects him. or which comes to the same. The entire universe affects him in equal measure. Questioner: is there no such thing as the Guru's grace? Maharaji: his grace is constant and universal. It is not given to one and denied to another. Questioner: how does it affect me personally? Maharaji: it is by the Guru's grace that your mind is engaged in the search for truth, and it is by his grace that you will find it. It works unwearingly towards your ultimate goal, and it is for us all. Questioner: some disciples are already mature and some are not. Must not the Guru exercise choice and make decisions? Maharaji: the Guru knows the ultimate and relentlessly propels the disciples to it. The disciple is full of obstacles which he himself must overcome. The Guru is not very much concerned with the superficialities of the disciple's life. It is like gravitation. The fruit must fall, when no longer held back. Questioner: if the disciple does not know the goal, how can he make out the obstacles? Maharaji: the goal is shown by the Guru. Obstacles are discovered by the disciple. The Guru has no preferences, but those who have obstacles to overcome seem to be lagging behind. In reality, the disciple is not different from the Guru. He is the same dimensionless centre of perception and love in action. It is only his imagination and self-identification with the imagined that encloses him and converts him into a person. The Guru is concerned little with the person. His attention is on the inner watcher. It is the task of the watcher to understand and thereby eliminate the person. While there is grace on one side, there must be dedication to the task on the other. Questioner: but the person does not want to be eliminated. Maharaji: person is merely the result of a misunderstanding. In reality, there is no such thing. Feelings, thoughts and actions race before the watcher in endless succession, leaving traces in the brain and creating an illusion of continuity. A reflection of the watcher in the mind creates the sense of I, and the person acquires an apparently independent existence. In reality, there is no person, only the watcher identifying himself with the I and the mine. The teacher tells the watcher, you are not this. There is nothing of yours in this except the little point of I am, which is the bridge between the watcher and his dream. I am this, I am that, is dream, while pure I am has the stamp of reality on it. You have tasted so many things, all came to naught, only the sense I am persisted, unchanged. Stay with the changeless, among the changeful, until you are able to go beyond. Questioner: when will it happen? Maharaji: it will happen as soon as you remove the obstacles. Questioner: which obstacles? Maharaji: desire for the false and fear for the future. You, as the person, imagine that the Guru is interested in you as a person. Not at all. To him you are a nuisance and a hindrance, to be done away with. He actually aims at your elimination as a factor in consciousness. Questioner: if I am eliminated, what will remain? Maharaji: nothing will remain, all will remain. The sense of identity will remain, but no longer identification with a particular body. Being awareness, love will shine in full splendor. Liberation is never of the person, it is always from the person. Questioner: and no trace remains of this person. Maharaji. A vague memory remains, like the memory of a dream or early childhood. After all, what is there to remember? A flow of events, mostly accidental and meaningless, a sequence of desires and fears and inane blunders. Is there anything worth remembering? The person is but a shell imprisoning you. Break the shell. Questioner. Whom are you asking to break the shell? Who is to break the shell? Maharaji. Break the bonds of memory and self-identification, and the shell will break by itself. There is a centre that imparts reality to whatever it perceives. All you need is to understand that you are the source of reality, that you give reality instead of getting it, that you need no support and no confirmation. Things are as they are because you accept them as they are. Stop accepting them and they will dissolve. Whatever you think about with desire or fear appears before you as real. Look at it without desire or fear and it does lose substance. Pleasure and pain are momentary. It is simpler and easier to disregard them than act on them. Questioner. If all things come to an end, why did they appear at all? Maharaji. Creation is the very nature of consciousness. Consciousness causes appearances. Reality is beyond consciousness. Questioner. While we are conscious of appearances, how is it that we are not conscious that these are mere appearances? Maharaji. The mind covers up reality without knowing it. To knock the nature of the mind, you need intelligence, the capacity to look at the mind in silence and dispassionate awareness. Questioner. If I am of the nature of all-pervading consciousness, how could ignorance and illusion happen to me? Maharaji. Neither ignorance nor illusion ever happened to you. Find the self to which you ascribe ignorance, illusion, and you will answer, and your question will be answered. You talk as if you know the self and see it to be under the sway of ignorance and illusion, but in fact you do not know the self, nor are you aware of ignorance. By all means become aware. This will bring you to the self, and you will realize that there is neither ignorance nor delusion of it. It is like saying, if there is sun, how can darkness be? As under a stone there will be darkness. However strong the sunlight, so in the shadow of the I am body consciousness, there must be ignorance and illusion. So beautiful, that book. Please say hi if you're watching and where you are watching from, where you are tuning in from. Hello to everybody who may have just joined us. Let's take a few moments of silence now as we welcome in this new day, as we continue to welcome in this new day in gratitude for waking this morning with all these opportunities to love, to create, to be, to read, to share, to connect. Breathe in the yes to life, yes to love, yes to this. Closing your eyes now, bring a smile to your lips. and feel the smile in your heart, in your being, in your body. Feel the energy of the smile filling each one of your cells. With each breath, breathing in gratitude for everything we have here, all the perfection, all the beauty, this body, this life, these connections, this opportunity. This moment is an opportunity. This moment is an opportunity to come home, to come home to yourself. Open yourself to grace and the gifts. The gifts of grace that's already here. The blessing of life with every breath. Much, much love to you all. Many, many blessings. I'm sending you energy from this crystal today to be with you today. And a light from this candle that many more hearts and minds be open to God's love, and we send blessings and love and healing to all those that need it now, wherever they may be in the world. As we send out this sacred vibration of love that we've created here in this sacred space this morning. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Many, many blessings.